Hey, live video tonight, to app or not to app. Facebook Live like we always do on Tuesday night. Only difference is the computer's not working anymore. It's crashed. MacBooks don't usually crash, but somehow mine is, and so I'm reinstalling the operating system. So tonight we'll do it from the phone. And the topic for tonight is how much do you spend on a mobile app and alternative ways to fund your project. So if you have an idea for an app and you want to get some free advice, put it in the comments. Hopefully I'll see the comments tonight because of the I haven't done this from the phone for a long time. But anyways, if you put your app idea in the comments, we can discuss that and I can give you some free advice on what you should do with your project. But in the meantime, if you don't, I got plenty of stuff to talk about, and one of them is basically how much money should you spend on the app. And then once you can determine how much money to spend on the app that you want to build, you might not have that much money. So if you don't have that much money, I'll give you a couple of ways, some advice on how to find people that you can work with or find companies that can help you fund your app. So, okay, so I wonder, anyways, there's some notifications going on. Sorry, I was a little distracted. So the first, how much to spend on an app it's the number one question I get. And so basically it comes down to really three things. Like every app is going to cost more money than the last, or, some can cost 20,000, some can cost 100,000, right? It just depends. So the way you determine that is, I'll give you an example. This guy, he came to me last week actually, and they have an idea for an app. They have a solar company, and they go out to all these job sites and they test the, I don't know what exactly they test, but I think they test the angle of the sun and stuff. Speaking of the sun, man, this thing is coming in here tonight. They test the angle of the sun and where to put the panels. So they have to go out and take pictures and have all these different job sites that they go to, or locations where they could potentially put solar panels. And so what you do is they had a few ideas for an app, but they never looked into doing a private app. And what they did look at was they went to a few sources, some third-party people that have similar stuff. So not necessarily apps, but they're web-based tools that they could use to get their field service workers to actually be able to input data. And so what ended up happening is they have to pay on a per user basis. Wait a second. Rosaline, we got one here. I have an idea for an app called Miles for Tax. Build by myself. Found on milesfortax.com. Already built, completing the work. What does it do? What does your app do, Rosaline? It's interesting. Found on milesbytax.com. I can't look at it right now because I'm on my phone and my computer's rebooting. So if you want to put in the comments what it does. So this guy, he's got an app, or they don't have an app, so they started looking at third-party vendors. Well, the third-party vendors that they were looking at had, they charge by the user. So they charge $20 a month per user, or maybe it was $50 a month per user. And this company has a high volume of users. So for them, it ended up being about $54,000 a year. And so they hadn't looked into, how much would it cost to actually build an app that would do that for them, what they needed. And all of the out-of-the-box, rented software, as I call it, all of the rented software didn't do exactly what they needed it to do. So they couldn't customize it. Or if they wanted to customize it, they would have to pay money on top of that. So now they have a $54,000 investment just to use this product. And then they're suddenly they start kicking around an idea oh, maybe we should build an app. They get into contact with me. They had several questions about all of the things that it needed to do, but they never considered actually building their own app. And when I looked at it, there was actually two outside vendors. One outside vendor came through at about $41,000 a year, and the next one came in at $54,000 a year, $56,000 a year. So right there, they know how much money to spend on the app. They know, like, if it costs them. So I looked at it, and I didn't give them an estimate yet because I need more information to give them a full estimate. But what I can tell you is that I could probably build that app just off the top of my head from what I've seen in the questions that they asked for $60,000. So if I can build it for $60,000 and they're already going to pay $56,000 for that 1 year, and then next year they got to pay another $56,000. So every year they have to pay $56,000. That's like, after the second year, it's $100,000. Well, they could build an app for $60,000. So for a little bit more than what they're going to pay in the first year, then the next year they don't have to really pay anything. They'll still have to pay for some maintenance, and they'll probably want some new features and things like that, but it isn't going to be $56,000, right? The initial cost is going to be $60,000, and then maybe the following year it's $20,000, and the year after that it's $20,000, depending on what they want to do. So that's how you do it. That's how you know how much money to spend on an app. It's real simple. You just make a determination of, like, how much money are you going to waste on rented software in this case, right? Maybe you have something like a company we're doing a project for right now called FlexCare. FlexCare has a bunch of people that they pay, travel nurses that they pay every month, 1,100 of them. Actually, they pay them every week. And so they have to, it takes them like 10 people to do their payroll, because the nurses send an email of their hours, and then someone at the company has to take that email and enter it into a system, into a QuickBooks system, and then they get paid. So they know right there that they can afford to pay, probably at least $100,000 for an app, because they can get rid of a few employees if they had an app where they wouldn't need employees to actually manual enter the time. So it's a cost-benefit analysis. And if you have an idea for an app, or you have a company and you want to know how much to spend on an app, give me a call, jeremycallahan.com. Go on my website, book a time with me, and I can do a cost-benefit analysis for your business and tell you if it's viable that you get a mobile app or that you create a mobile app. So that's really how you do it. And then I'm going to read, so I got a comment from Rosaline. Okay, so she had talked about this other thing. It's called milesfortax.com. Okay, so here's what it is. Automatic miles tracker on the phone. Once you install it on your phone, it automatically tracks your miles hands-free. It's $4.99 a month. My husband built it. He has 32 years of aerospace engineering. Okay, so he's a computer programmer. Needs idea to complete it and let it run. Okay, so this is some sort of mile tracker. I would assume it is for like cars, right? When people have to track their mileage. So $4.99 a month, that means Apple's going to take a little bit of that $4.99. How many users do you have? And what do you need to do to take it to the next level? Oh, shoot. Sorry, I got to plug my phone in here. It's really annoying having to use a phone versus the computer. Okay, so, shoot. Bear with me, y'all. So the next, sounds like, Rosaline, that your husband knows what he's doing from a technical perspective, but he doesn't know how to market the app and get the app in front of people. So the first thing you can do is either you or him get in touch with me. It's on my website, jeremycallahan.com. There's actually a way you can schedule a call with me. So that would be my best advice, is schedule a call with me so we can go over this, the exact needs and the exact problems that facing your app. Sounds like you have the development and the engineering. Here it goes, 200 users, but want to get at least 10,000 users. Yeah. So if you're like Rosaline, get in touch with me. Book an appointment with me, Rosaline, or your husband. or both of you on a time where we can get online and go over some strategies about how to get you more users, because there are a lot of strategies out there as far as how to do that. And I've talked about them. I have a podcast too, so you can check on my podcast. There's various subjects about how to get like free app installs and how to get people to share your app so that you get kind of that 200 users you have now to like actually get them to share and get more users that way. So, and then get up to 100,000 users. That'd be awesome, especially at $4.99 a month. Not good at math. That's a pretty good amount of money. So, you know, I mean, a lot of people, and this is kind of a common problem that I see across the board is, and I had this, and I totally suffered from this, and I learned this the hard way, is I'm an engineer by trade, and I would have ideas for an app. And so I would just create the app, and then I would figure out, you know, people will use this. It'll be easy to get users. People will want to share them, and it didn't work out that way. And so I learned the hard way, like how to actually market apps and get them to go viral and get people to share them. So get in touch with me. You know, go to my website, jeremycallahan.com. My phone number's on there, but also on my contact form, you can book an actual time, and it'll put it on your calendar and mine. So let's do that. Again, if anybody has any ideas, wants some advice, anything like that, put it in the comments, and then we'll get into it. Tonight's topic is how to know how much to spend on your app, and then alternative ways to get funding. So I gave an example earlier about the cost-benefit analysis that you need to do in order to get people to, or not to get people, but in order to determine if that app is actually something that can make money, and then, or it can reduce a cost within your company. If it can reduce a cost, that's, or rented software, that's also great as well. So let's talk about some alternative ways to get your project, to fund your project. Like if you don't have any money, but you have a really good idea for an app, and you're not an engineer. So the first way is you could learn engineering, and that would, you know, that's going to take you a little bit of time, obviously. And, you know, and you're going to waste your time engineering when really you're going to end up with the same problem that Rosaline and her husband have right now with their mileage app. And that's, you're going to be able to program an app. You're going to get an app into the App Store, and then you're not going to have any idea how to market the app. So that's kind of the rub. Oh, shameless plug. I'm actually creating a course right now. I already videotaped the course. I videoed it. It's 11 modules. It's about 2.5 hours long. Why you need an app, how to do a cost-benefit analysis of how much to spend on your app, how to actually build your app, and not just build it, but how to like start marketing as you build it, and then how to market it. So everything from an idea all the way through to a fully marketed functioning app in the App Store, Google Play, and iOS and Android. Coming soon, hopefully the end of this month. Everything's filmed, we're in the can, it's edited. We're just building out the webpage right now for that. Okay, alternative ways to get funding for your project. So there's really only two big ways that I would recommend. Well, I guess there's three. The third one's venture capitalists. I don't know anything about that. I mean, I've pitched to venture capitalists and things like that, but I've never actually, well, I take that back. I did raise $50,000 for one project through a private investor. So I guess I kind of know that. But the two main ways that I would recommend to get funding for your app is the first one, and I'll just briefly touch on it, is to get a company to invest. So if you have a really good idea, this woman, a friend of mine, got me in touch with one of his friends that has an idea for an app. And it's basically, they live in, I think it's Idaho, and there's all these factories around where they live, and they pay people minimum wage to go to the factories and work. And so she did some research, and she found that if the employees are incentivized, because these employees, they just like, they show up for a little while and they just stop showing up for work. They start missing shifts. And so what she came up with in her research was, if you actually incentivize the employees, like you give them a gift card, oh, you showed up for work. It's literally, oh, you showed up for work, 30 days in a row on time, and you didn't miss a shift, boom, you get a $50 gift card. It's like that simple. And that's basically what they're doing. They're give people rewards. But she doesn't have the money to build this out. And it kind of gets back to something I talk about a lot. Like, if you have an idea for an app, that's cool. She has an idea for an app. She actually did some research on it, so she knows there's kind of a market there. But then the next thing she did, and it's what you should do too if you're in this boat, is instead of going out and like funding it herself, because she knows there's kind of a market there, but she's actually going to all these companies. And she's going to the companies and saying, hey, would you guys be interested in helping me fund this project? Because here's the research we've done. She did she's got a really, really good PowerPoint presentation. She's working hard to get in front of the decision makers within this company. Not this company, but several companies. And so if she gets it done like that, she's going to actually have somebody invest in her idea and then come back to me, and then we'll build the app, right? So if you're in a similar boat and you have somebody like a company that's out there, I mean, I guess you may have a fear that the company's going to steal your idea. I guess you could get them to sign an NDA agreement. You got to get over that fear. You really do. I mean, if somebody's going to steal your idea, somebody's going to steal your idea. Sorry. I mean, I had an idea. I didn't even have an idea. I actually built an app called Shoe Swipe. It's Tinder for shoes. Swipe right, swipe left, go through shoes, buy shoes, make, a nice little chunk of change on it every month. But the interesting thing is the day I launched that app, actually the day before I launched that app, 2 other people came out with the exact same app. And I didn't tell anybody. Like, people just had the same idea as me, and they did it with shoes. So I ended up having to compete with those people and did pretty darn well at it. Okay, so that's the first way to alternate funds, is actually come up with a game, determine there's a market. You got to determine if there's a market. And then after you determine if there's a market, find a company that will help you get that funding. Okay, so the next way, and I'm going to go off a little bit here on this one. This next way is alternative ways to fund your project, and this works basically with any technical project. It could be a website. You could have a cryptocurrency. You could have a blockchain project. You could have a mobile app. Is to partner with a technical person, like myself. I partner with people. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few examples here, the good and the bad, of people that come to me and they want to partner with me. They don't have money, but they have an idea. Okay, and I'm going to give you my criteria. So if you want to pitch me on one of your ideas, this is the kind of the criteria I'm looking for. Or if you're looking at somebody else who's technical, or you're technical and you're wondering if you should partner with somebody, I'll give you the criteria that I use. So partnering with a technical person. Okay, I'm the technical person, so people come to me. The first guy that I'm actually partnering with right now is a guy named Gabe Tuft, and he has a website called Body Spartan. And he is a bodybuilder. He was in the WWE, and he's got a monthly workout program. He's actually got 4 monthly workout programs, as well as a community. And so they came to me. They wanted to build an app. I saw opportunity there. And the reason that I'm decided to go into this partnership and take a revenue share, it's actually a revenue share that I get, is because he knows what he's doing. He is an excellent marketer. So he's got a product that and he's got a product on the web that he's selling right now. And he's been selling it for about 3 or 4 years through his website, and he's been successfully doing that. So he's got it all. He's a good marketer. He's got knowledge in his space. That's what I want. I want knowledge in the space. I want a good marketer. And then on top of that, I want somebody that has proven that they can do it in that industry, right? If he came to me with an idea for I don't know, something else, like he wanted to make a cookbook, I'd be like, dude, do you have any knowledge in the cookbook space? No, but I'm a great marketer. He's a good marketer, but he has no knowledge in the space, and he hasn't been selling a cookbook. So I'm not going into business with them. So those are the big 3. Do you have knowledge in the space? right? Have you been selling in the space? And then what's the third one? Are you a good marketer? So, but you're marketing in that space. So those are the big three. So we got another one. It's a mobile app we're creating with a guy named Doug Timmons. Doug is a professional golfer, not a TV golfer. He's a pro golfer in that he gives teaching lessons. He also has, so this is a golf app, right? So number one, he's a golf professional. Number two, he has knowledge of how to market to within the golf space. He's been running a clothing line for probably almost 20 years now. A golf clothing line. He knows the market. He's in the space. He knows the product. He's got an idea. He knows how to get to that market and touch it. Plus, it's a hell of an idea. So those are the kinds of things I'm interested in, because I see that and I see dollars. I see it. I see an opportunity. I see money. I see a person that can get me somewhere. Okay? If you want to partner with me and I'm going to build an app for you, it's going to take me 1,000 hours of my time. That's how long it's going to take me to build an app. 1,000 hours. Or my team, right? Me and my team. Average app is taking like 1,000 hours. That's at $200 an hour. That means I got $200,000 of my personal time or my team's time invested in this app. Okay? So this is going to get into the next thing of when I'm not going to partner with you. Because 2 people have came to me in the last week with ideas. And these are guys that they've raised millions and millions of dollars for other companies that they've started. So I guess I should be impressed when somebody that comes around and they've made millions and millions of dollars and I don't know that they've made millions of dollars, but they've raised millions of dollars and they've had successful companies in the past, and they come to me and they go, well, I got an idea. And the idea is, this, that, and Tuesday. Who cares what the idea is? But the idea is basically, I got an idea. It's my idea. I'm not really going to do much work on the idea. I want me, to develop the app, and I'll give you 10% equity of the company. 10%? Dude, 10% doesn't even get you a call back. It doesn't, because I didn't even call the guy back. I'm like, dude, 10%. What are you wasting my time for? And it's like a hobby project. Both of these guys, they basically have a project, an idea that they've had for a few years, and they want to move on it. And to me, it's not their primary business. It's not their primary business. It's a hobby. They tell me how big the market is. It's a $40 million market. It's a $100 million market that they're telling me that this is. And then, and then both of them, I mean, it's not even one, it's 2 people. Two different people, 2 different ideas. They said, and, I want to start it, and it's not going to be a lot of work for me to do. I know a lot of people. I have a lot of connections. I'm going to bring all the connections into the game. Great. Because if you're not bringing connections, you're not even getting a meeting with me, right? But that's cool. You want to give me 10%? Again, and I'm just saying 1,000 hours, $200 an hour, that's $200,000. So I don't know what that is in the valuation. I'm not good at math right here, but I can tell you what, 10%, I think you're telling me your company's worth $20 million if you're only giving me $200,000 at 10%. Is that 20 million or is it 2 million? I don't care what it is. I ain't working for 10%. 50%. If I'm doing all the heavy lifting, and I am doing the heavy lifting, I think it's great that both of these guys are, successful and they have connections and all that. But I don't work for free, and I don't want to be involved in a deal that's somebody's hobby and somebody that's not giving me a good percentage of it. So that's basically those are the 2 alternate ways to fund your app if you don't have any money. Number 1 is find a company that's in that space that would want to invest if your app is good enough to pitch to companies. And then the second way is find a technical person and start a company with them. Start Start a venture with them. 50-50, 60-40, 70-30. Whatever you can get them for is, I guess. I guess that's what these two guys are coming at me thinking. I don't know. Maybe they think if they start at 10 and, then we can negotiate to 30. No, I'm not negotiating. I'm not playing that game. It's 50 or nothing. So you're not getting a call back if you don't come in at 50%. Just saying. I don't care who you are. I don't. So anyways, those are some good ideas that we covered tonight. I'll just go over again, how much to spend on an app. Remember, whenever you're talking about how much money to spend on an app, it's always based on a cost-benefit analysis. Is it going to reduce costs? If the app costs you $100,000, can you reduce $100,000 worth of costs? If you can, you got to build it. I would say if you can reduce $50,000 worth of costs, you should spend $100,000 on the app, because in the second year it's going to pay off, and in the third year you're going to be net positive. Plus your business can grow. So you're either going to how much to spend? Either you're going to reduce the cost or you're going to increase leads. The app costs you $100,000. Can that get you $1 million worth of sales of new customers for your product? Right? Cost benefit analysis, and then alternate ways to fund your app in this case, or any project. Find a company to invest in you, in your company, in your company, in your specific product. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. It just has to be enough to pay for the development. And then, or partner with a technical person. For partnering with a technical person, there is a group, I can't remember the name of the group, in San Francisco. It's like called Co-Founder Dating. Just do a search on Google for Co-Founder Dating. It's in San Francisco, but it's all over the United States and Canada. And it's just basically, it's an event, and you go there and it's like 40 people in a room, and you just go around the room. You're like, hey, I'm Jeremy. I have an idea for an app that tracks mileage, and I am technical. I have already programmed the app, and I need to find a person that is good at marketing an app. Right, Rosaline? Thanks for putting that in the comments tonight. I do appreciate it. I do this every Tuesday night. This is the App or Not to App Facebook Live. If you have an idea for an app and you want to talk about it, go to my website, jeremycallahan.com. There is a contact form on there. You can book a consultation with me. I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear from you. If you have leads, if you have friends that have ideas for an app, have them give me a call. Again, free consultation. You have nothing to lose. I will do a cost-benefit analysis of your idea and tell you if it is worth it. Can't lose. Have a podcast every Wednesday. The podcast coming out tomorrow. I don't know what the topic's going to be yet because I haven't decided, but I have several things I want to talk about. If you go to my podcast, which you can also, find on my website, then you will see all of the topics that I talk about. It's not super technical. I am a technical guy. I can program the shit out of anything. And I can talk programming until the cows come home, but that's not what this is about. This is about business. This is about how apps can help your business. This is about how apps are essential to your business. Look at the statistics on your website traffic right now. Over 70% of it is from mobile devices. If you do not have a mobile app or a plan to have a mobile app, if you have a company and your employees have to show up at a desk and work from a computer and they can't do it from a mobile app, dude, that's all changing in 3 years. 2-3 years, employees are going to be basically working from their phones. Where are you? Are you going to get involved in that? So anyways, thank you for joining. Thank you for commenting. Get in touch with me. Share it. Thank you. Good night.